In the realms of rugby, where today players are fitter, faster, stronger and more powerful than ever before, the essence of the team still remains its camaraderie, that putting your body on the line week in, week out for those alongside you. Today we're at one of the world's oldest rugby clubs, talking to a man who knows all about that elite journey to the top and what it takes to win at the very highest level. That man is Lewis Mad Dog Moody. Let's go and find him. And here he is. I introduced you as Mad Dog. Is it still Mad Dog?
I had many nicknames when I played. Obviously the one that seemed to stick was Mad Dog, which I'm probably a little bit proud of now.
Where did it come from?
So Ben Kay, one of your colleagues as well, said watching you play is like watching a puppy chase a stick down the M25, which was, I was like, do you know what, that's a great, I don't know whether that was a compliment, but it was a great description of what it was like to sort of observe me play. It was just chaos. It was the way I loved playing the game, throwing myself around.
Interesting, the analogy between the pup and the Mad Dog. Going back to being a pup and forcing your way into what was a very old school Leicester change room. Tell me about entering there on day one.
It was utterly, utterly terrifying. Walking into an environment of all your heroes, your idols, all these, for want of a better word, alpha males. I felt like you could only sort of speak when you'd earned your stripes. I probably didn't speak up, in front of the group until I was about 22. It made me feel uncomfortable at times from a sort of social dynamic in terms of, today you describe it as a psychologically safe environment where you could speak freely without fear of judgment or criticism. It was just an imposing, competitive, ferocious environment, which bizarrely I actually loved. It was an environment that I excelled in because you had to prove yourself in every given moment.
Tell me about the conversation you had with John Wells and how that, I suppose, changed your life in many ways.
So 2005, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. And in the build up to that Lions tour in 2005 to New Zealand, I was going through some really severe symptoms. So initially it was, loss of blood. Every time I went to the loo, it was blood rather than anything else, or a combination of the two. Probably took me a month or two to actually admit to my wife that's what's happening. She obviously went, you need to go speak to the doctor, so I did go speak to the doctor. He immediately diagnosed me with ulcerative colitis, said I was going to be on drugs for the rest of my life. Moving closer to the training ground, being 5 minutes away was still too far, sometimes being 2 feet from the toilet was too far. Change of clothes in the car in case you had an accident on the way to training, which I did have numerous times. It was embarrassing. Who wants to talk about their toilet habits? I didn't know at the time that it was common. Eventually got to the point where I lost 10 kg over one summer. I just thought, I need to share it with someone, because the stress of also worrying about, missing a game. What if it happens in training? What if it happens on TV in front of, 80,000 people at Twickenham? So I told John Wells, who was my coach at the time, my forwards coach at Leicester. And when I did tell him, he shared with me straight away that he had something similar. And it was just utter relief. Like a weight was lifted off your shoulders,
When you look back now at how you dealt with it, what is your reaction now?
I feel like if I'd addressed it and dealt with it much earlier, from a speaking point of view, and opening up about it, I would have overcome it much quicker. There's something around being comfortable, being vulnerable, feeling that your teammates will have your back. And actually, when you do open up about stuff, you suddenly realise how supportive people can be. If I was going to tell myself anything, it's that it's okay to talk about your struggles, about the challenges. I'd say just be comfortable sharing more quickly. Don't try and ever carry anything on your own, because it's only going to make it twice as hard.
We know all about the battles you won on the pitch. Thank you very much indeed for sharing the battle you won off it. It was great to see you. Thank you.
Cheers, man.